Watch what you bet here, Teddy. One game is all you need tonight in the NBA. If you're watching the draft, you can flip back and forth here. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, TNT live from the AT&T Center. It's going to be the Nuggets and Spurs. Spurs favored by 3, total of 208.5. If we take a look at the Nuggets on the season, 45-42 against the number, 12-14 against the number as a dog, but only 18-25 against the number in all road games. Spurs 45-40 against the number on the season, 26-25 as a favorite, and 25-18 against the number at home this season. Should be a good one tonight, Teddy. Do we see a game 7?
That's a good question. And it really, in my mind, comes down to two key factors. What we've seen from Denver now in 3 of the last 4 games, they have been able to really clamp down defensively on San Antonio, particularly in the backcourt. Derek White had that huge game 3. He wasn't great in game 2. The last 2 games, he's struggled. That is a matchup that has to play better for the Spurs. White has to be a go-to guy, bringing the ball to the hole and finding his teammates. He hasn't been able to do that effectively in the last 2 ball games. That's something the Spurs have to turn around. The other issue here that is certainly worth noting, besides the defensive switches that they've made, is how does San Antonio respond now? Punched in back-to-back game, Popovich. They just outplayed us in every facet, talking about the Game 5 loss. We missed a lot at the rim earlier. It would have been a much more competitive first half. We've got to have more guys playing well, for sure. Where's Brian Forbes in this series? Where are the role players for San Antonio? What made the Spurs a good regular season team wasn't Aldridge and DeRozan. Aldridge and DeRozan were the anchors, but it was all the guys who chip in that roster. And the role players have not done a whole lot the last couple games. The Spurs are going to win and cover tonight. They're taking money in early betting action. Those role players, like Forbes, have got to step up and hit the perimeter shots that didn't fall in the last 2 ball games.
Big name pitchers going tonight in Houston, Teddy. At Minute Maid, Astros favored by 150, total of 7.5. 8:10. It's going to start up tonight on ESPN Plus. If we take a look at the 2 pitchers in these lineup, Bauer, 2.20 ERA, but Cole's ERA, Teddy, 5.22. But his advanced numbers say he's due for a bounce back here. Heavy favorite for the Astros tonight. Any chance that we can look at maybe the Indians here as a live dog, or is it going to be Astros all the way for us?
You don't often see Trevor Bauer in this price, and Bauer is one heck of a hurler to be catching a big plus price with. He's been pretty dominant and pretty consistently dominant for the Indians over the last year and a half. But on the other hand, the Astros team, look, they're 8-1 at home. The last 2 games, 17-5 margin against the Twins. You have Cole coming off the single worst start of his career, 9 hits, 9 runs, and 4 1/3 against Texas last Saturday. Here are the quotes from Garrett Cole after that ballgame. Quote, I obviously didn't ask the Rangers if they knew what was coming, but I had kind of a gut feeling. Some of the guys on our team kind of identified what they could potentially be seeing. I changed my set position a little bit from last year and actually anticipated maybe a little bit of an adjustment period. Unfortunately, it all came crashing down in one game. It wasn't a big adjustment. I was able to mix it up towards the latter half of the game. So we came up with a game plan this week on how to clean it up, and hopefully that will take care of it. So what we saw last time, a bit of a mechanical flaw, it looks like it's been corrected. And I think that the Astros are a better team than the Indians. So if I'm playing, I'm laying, Donnie. That's the way I would look in this one.
Yeah, because if we take a look there also with Cleveland, a 278 weighted on base average as a team versus right-handed pitchers and only a 67 weighted runs created plus. So if you're going to get bounce back and get back right, this is the night to do it for Cole. Teddy, let's take a look at the NHL. No rest for the weary. You win a Game 7, they turn you right back around and put you back on the ice. The Bruins favorite as a minus 150 favorite, total of 5.5. CBJ is going to start Bobrovsky tonight, and Boston going to counter with Tuukka Rask. The NHL doesn't stop, Teddy, just because the top 4 are out.
Yeah, it sure doesn't. So this is a classic scenario right here. You have Columbus, who played a heck of a first round. They were better than Tampa Bay. The quotes I was seeing, they were better than Tampa Bay on every shift, every line, every face-off, every period. Columbus didn't sweep the number 1 team in the NHL by accident in round 1. But now they've been sitting for a week. The other team's battle-tested. Boston, 7-game series down to the wire. They're chalk here. They don't have to travel. Which side gets the edge in that? Columbus is scary. Columbus can win the cup. You know that. You know that better than me. I don't know anything about hockey. And I know that Columbus made all the let's win now moves for 2019. But for game one, I'm definitely concerned about the layoff having a negative effect on the Blue Jackets. All that being said, Columbus wins this game, they're liable to sweep again. That team played really, really well in round one. They played as good as anybody in the NHL. They might be dangerous underdogs again in game one tonight.